Oh, all right. Well, got my background music playing, so that actually worked nicely. Looks like it's still doing it. Again, could definitely use a better loading area, like a now, streaming soon, whatever. But we do not have one of those fancy things yet. And for now, we're going to keep it like this. Could probably use a better image too. It's really small text that I made for that, but it is fine. So, good morning, all you goobers. Hope you are doing well, or at least well enough. Um, Today, this morning, I actually went through and did my own little back and forth and found I didn't really look at anything yet. I just started clicking on a handful of ArtStation stuff as usual. But so this time, hopefully, I don't have to do so on stream and I can just look at it with you guys now. So it looks like I have a handful. How many do I have? Yeah, that should work. So, oh my gosh, I completely forgot though in getting stuff ready to change the exposure. So on my camera, you don't set it to auto exposure, right? Because that looks hideous. It'll just change. Auto anything looks so bad usually. There we go. So if I stream at night or in the evening at all, I need to bump it up. But then if I stream in the middle of the day or in the morning, like it is right now, where there's an actual sun beside me, it looks really, really gross. So sorry for that jump scare as I switched to the camera and it looked like you saw a ghost. Don't worry, I am still that pale, but she's not quite as pale. I blame the Midwest. In the summers, I actually tan quite a bit, but that's in the summer. And then because we have such winters, it's like 4 months I'll get tan, and then as I get tan, it just fades away. By the time by the time we see the sun truly again, not like it is now covered in white everywhere. But anyway, let's swap over and let's look at a couple of these things and get looking at this. I saw this one just had the thumbnail was just this banana and these grapes, and I liked it. I get that it's like an orange slice, but that looks weird to me. I don't like that. It looks uncomfortable. It looks weird. This is cute as hell though. Little kiwi. I like that. These are silly. I appreciate it. I'm not even gonna pretend to be able to read that name. Ooh. Cute. Gotcha. Sketches. These are pretty cute too. I like it. Pretty simple style, but playful. Looks like something you'd see with like a kid's like website, kind of like that kind of vibe. Very cute. I don't know why I clicked on this, what this thumbnail even was here, but I really like First Mythology for a short I was working on with Theo Scaffa. I've got it finished. Here are some process. Oh, it was this. That's what. So there was like a thumbnail that had this little guy. I was intrigued. Looks like it would have been an interesting story to tell if they would have gotten to do so. I like it. I like the style. I like when you look at stuff like this. Like the birds are viewed as kind of like more background pieces as well. So they are also unbelievably like morphed around, whereas then the characters have a very distinct different vibe. Yeah, this looks, I don't know what this reminds me of, but looks like something back during my masters that I had studied. Similar style. I'm intrigued by just these few images though. Like the cat dies, I'm assuming. Dude's catching go. Yeah, I'm intrigued. They did a good job of, because you sell the story by having like the constant, right? You have this fire constant and seeing it in these different ways. Like one, you think, okay, this is kind of normal, but why are there so many of these in the background? And are these different ones then? Or is this supposed to be the same one and the logs are just kind of swapped around? But the tree seems all in different spots too. So are these each of these individual fires? The idea would be there's some sort of completely different biome within each, but it's all just a simulation. Don't know. I like that though. Is that an earthworm gym? Yeah, that is. Profile. Oh, Hollow Knight. When will we get Silk Song, my beloved? Not anytime soon, probably. Oh, wow. I like how I saw this and thought that looked cool, and then it just is way more. Has a really, really cool landscape piece. I love, especially with mountainous things, you can really play with angles. Because, like, if you look at this over here, the mountain is curved, right? And this mountain is curved. Both are pulling our eye in to this center point, right? So everything leads our eye back down. And with this curve, right, it pulls our eye obviously to the characters, right? Our brains, even if we want to look anywhere else, our eye is immediately pushed down and back up to look at these characters. But these characters are obviously looking at something too. And so it has this beautiful curve of like your eye goes to the middle, but immediately gets pulled down around, hits these, and then back here. Just like that the Galileo curve that we talked about before, that it just... What I was saying is that even in the buildings on the left and the stuff on the right, like they're not straight and they're not even really correctly in perspective, but that's all conscious decision making. Who is this? Vincent Bishop, not Bishop. Bishop. Sold. I like it. I saw another landscape. I wanted to keep up that trend of looking at landscapes. Mathis Richard. A painting I did. 5 with Killip Studio. Okay. Take a peek at the way they do some of these paintings. Oh, this is really chunky and soft. I like that. The blind god, son of Odin. Ooh. The old man. So it looks like more of like high technology, and yet this one old man persists staying in his old house. I like that a lot. Easy, quick storytelling, right? You don't even have to you don't have to think about it. It tells you in just those little images. Your brain interprets what the base idea is from that. This is an older mug. I got it at Target like a year or so ago, and now it's like one of my favorites. Trying my best, you know? That's all we all can say with this little purple frog, toad, something. Trying my best. I feel you, right? Sometimes in the morning, got like it's gonna be a great day with hope. Or with joy, I'm sorry, from Inside Out, or To Infinity and Beyond with Buzz. And sometimes it's good to acknowledge just trying my best. That's all we can do, right? Sorry, I will admit I've got some family medical things going on right now. And so I will be popping and looking at my phone a little bit, and I may end up cutting it short today. We'll see. I'm in a different headspace today. Not to go too in depth, but I lost my grandma last year, my maternal grandmother, and then my paternal grandma is just going through and getting some biopsies, and you just get nervous with certain things, right? Especially with people you love and mean a lot. So just will be on my phone a little bit more than I probably normally am, but give me one moment. Okay. Hey, I'm a rant for a second though on other stuff. Holy stramboli. So, non other things aside, right? We're looking at art, right? We'll look at art. We'll keep looking at art. We'll do that thing, and then we'll make some art because that's also our thing. But I'm going to hoodie mode right now. Um, and I'm gonna discuss the idea of hating on things and continuing to commit to them despite hating them. So sometimes, in particular, I'm referring to this to because one of my good friends, he's a little turd with things, right? And there are certain things that just because you like the bigger picture of things, the broader scope of a topic, doesn't mean you have to like every piece within it, and that's okay, right? There's so much media in any form to consume nowadays, right? So much. We don't have to love everything because, frankly, if you love everything, then that doesn't even make sense because everyone has our own taste. You can't love everything, and that's okay. It's perfectly fine. But just because I love pizza, I'm not saying I love pizza. I'm not a big pizza guy. I'm a salad guy, right? I eat salads all the time. That's like my main thing. Every night, garbage bowl, massive salad, all the veggies, give me some fruit, some nice grilled chicken, done, and some cheese. Um, if I love salads, right, and I go to a restaurant, and I love salads, right, and I look at the menu and I go, ooh, a salad. I order it. I take a bite and I go, ah, shit. I actually don't. I don't know if I'm feeling the salad. It tastes kind of weird, right? Give it a couple bites, right? I'll give it a couple bites. If I still don't like the salad, just because I like salad in general, doesn't mean I have to like this salad. So I'm not going to sit there and eat the whole salad and at the end go, holy crap, that was the worst salad I've ever eaten. Or, man, I wish salads didn't suck. Like, no, it was this individual thing that you weren't a fan of, and that's perfectly fine. right? Who cares? Move on. But don't force yourself to try and like a thing when you didn't like it from the get go, because you're never going to like it then. Or it has to be like a 12 out of 10 for you to actually even get convinced. Because if you go in with a negative mindset, and that follows not in art, not in games, not just in anything, right? It's life, that if you go in with a negative mindset, chances are you're probably not going to enjoy the thing you're doing. Unless, again, it is an unbelievable hill to overcome to change your mind, right? Our mindset is our biggest weakness and strength. And so I just needed a rant a moment. It's nice because you know what? I can. And you guys have to hear it. Or you don't and you leave, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't know. It's something that gets me frustrated, and not just with my friends and not just with other people. It's a global epidemic with too much content and too much everything, that I feel like we have different expectations and we feel the need that we have to like a thing. If someone likes everything, that means usually those things aren't like, everybody's not meant to like a thing because it hits everyone differently. I don't know. I'm done. Rant over. I need to get moving. I've got a lot of other stuff I wanted to work on with YouTube stuff today. So we're going to get back to looking at art, because my goal, like I said last stream, was I want to be making, right? iPad's plugged in by 11. It is already 10:50. My rant is over. I'm looking at these gorgeous little paintings of waves and this little glow barb, and I like it. A seagull. My brain literally couldn't think of the word, and that's why I had a long pause and just said burb. This burb is cute. Anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, Puss in Boots, cute. Oh, it's Hung Sang's. Yeah, person's free. One of, oh my goodness, South Korean artist. I've been enjoying this person's art. Since I was, before I started my master's program. Like, some of these things, this person has some of the most amazing things to turn into 3D, especially. Like, some of these designs are just so adorable, and they lend themselves to being both 2D amazing pieces, but also like really cute things that your brain can translate pretty well into 3D too. Obviously, as a 3D artist, my brain thinks that way, but even just the overall style. And it looks like they've purged quite a bit of their stuff over the years, because they had even more, like way more on this page before. I'm thinking of older things of theirs, and that's okay. I can't scroll back and see all of them, but yeah, absolutely love this artist. 100% been a fan for many, 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 many moons. Look at this. Look at this style. Look at this, the chunky nature of stuff, the simplification of these shapes. Love it. But I've got an old Hermione sketch I did that I really wish I need to go back to one day. It was a cute idea. It was one that I liked. It was just her holding a bunch of books. I don't know why. I was like, this is a cute one. And then I never did anything like I normally do. Oh, that is loud. This is a 10-minute video. I don't know what I'm looking at here. A video about the Watchers. So it's this person just breaking down this pick the content. This stuff's kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm following this person apparently. They do some cool stuff. But yeah, some of their stuff I do remember this. Oh, no, this isn't the person we saw the other day. Some of their stuff is creepy as hell though, and it's more modern stuff, more of their newer stuff. What is this? Star Wars one. Looks like a bunch of pictures of these. ILM department. Okay, so this was a challenge they worked on ArtStation. Oh, is that a little baby Rancor? That's cute as heck. Oh, it's supposed to be the Rancor trainer. Duh, that's who it is. Oh, I didn't even click that that's the Rancor trainer. It's adorable. What is this? Boba Fett was sent to Yavin to kill Mon Mothma. He ultimately failed his mission when he underestimated her diplomatic prowess. These are good. Those are good. And then I didn't have any like 3D stuff, so I saw this one and I thought this looked cool. It's X-Men, so I had to click it. Not super sold on Madeline Pryor's face. Something about it is just weird, and her hand looks really skinny. But it's still pretty solid. I like it. I do a lot of these stylized ones. This Gambit, though. Again, you know me. I'm clicking on all the X-Men. You show me X-Men, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look hard. Yeah, this person has a very distinct stylization of faces. That isn't bad. It's just, you know, sometimes stuff doesn't jive with us. Just like we talked about earlier, just a minute ago in our rant, right? Things can be good on their own right, but that doesn't mean you have to like them. Not saying I dislike these. I actually really do like these, but saying in the faces in particular, right? Like, these faces are cool. I like the way this guy does faces, right? Let's say Ernesto Perlinguero. I like the way he does faces, but that doesn't mean all of his faces I have to like. Mainly his female faces actually seem like they've got some. The stylization just doesn't work quite the same as it does with the male faces. I don't know what it is. I think it's because it's giving the female soft features, hard features, like in a weird way. And all these eyebrows are just looking hella intense. And the noses all feel Michael Jackson-y. And especially this one. But again, it doesn't look bad. It's just not mine, right? Not my style. Because it looks good. Anyway, that was a rant that I went on earlier. Tooth Woo, obviously this person does amazing stuff too. If anyone's been around the block, this stuff, no surprise. Their stuff is absolute 10 out of 10s as well as we're scrolling through. Again, followed this person for many years. Oh, I remember seeing this guy turned into 3D by quite a few artists, actually. The Witch Doctor. Like, quite a few. And I liked it, obviously, from years ago. Yeah, this person's stuff is super. Again, a style that lends itself to being turned into 3D pretty well. Different than the other, but like a lot of these, even though like the super real, not realistic, but the super detailed ones, you can easily envision in 3D space moving around as like a Dark Souls boss or something like that. But again, that's just my brain. I think of how things translate to 3D a lot. Oh, I don't remember seeing this one. You give me a cool animal like knight, and you've sold me. You've sold me quick. Let me pull this up real quick just to show. Was it the Mythic Legions one? He looks dope. Coming next year. Yeah, here we go. Right at the top. Reign of the Beast. Leo Odysseus instead of Odysseus. Leo. Look at it. Look at this guy. So cool. Sorry, I'll make it bigger. Yeah, Four Horsemen stuff is absolutely awesome. And then there's also Fury toys, I think, right? Maestro Union stuff. Yeah, Fury Planet. I've got Blade Master Wang next to me. He's in the on my shelf. Boop, right there. Can't see him. It's this guy. And if you wanted him, apparently too bad. He's sold out. But you're in luck because there's a new variation that they're releasing who looks pretty similar, obviously, but also different enough that I need him. I need him bad. Okay. We're almost, oh, we got a minute. We got a minute and we've only got one image here. Perfect. That's not a butterfly. That's a knife. Okay. I like this person's vibe. Cherry Che. Ooh. Sold. Following. teamplay tactics stuff they've worked on. That guy's cute. That guy's cute as hell. The Dragonland Poggle. I love, talk about something that could be in 3D. Super, not, I want to say easily, but like a pretty clean translation to a 3D character. These little guys. Ooh, I like it. I like it a lot. Poggle me, baby. I like the, so if we look, we're breaking down style quickly here before we move on. If we're just looking, let's say, let's grab a couple of these images of, oopsies. Just grab a handful. And let's break something down that I think is really interesting when people are able to do this well. So if you notice, this person does like really contrasting curves with super duper hard edges. Super hard edges. And they've even got like the lines exterior on here to like really hone in on the fact that these are hard edges, right? Like on the foot here, on this bow, on the skirt, on the hair. You got all this stuff, these square framing here. But if we look, everything has these really soft curves, right? These legs, her torso, the sword itself. Right here, we've got this massive leg and the curve that the whole body feels, right? This is a very distinct curved language that we see. Her legs here, very stark, simplified curves, right? Very stark, simplified curves. But then all of them have these crazy edges, like all the hair work. You'd think the hair would be the smoothest, but the hair actually has all these little hard edges, hard edges, hard edges, hard edges. And that contrast between that here with these big curves and these crazy. So this is a super curved sword even, but then the fire is so hard. Like you don't, yeah, even these soft edges here have hard edges cut into them, right? And I don't know, that just, I feel like that design is always so cool to see when you've got the contrast of the two. There's definitely always a balance to find, and that's a hard one to do between how hard do you want to make something and how smooth. But I really like this style. It feels very distinct. Like their line language and their choices to make a mark is pretty evident. Even if we look at like, let's go back to some, okay, so some of their older stuff definitely had, they were trying to work with that idea. So this is definitely from a couple of years ago. This is 4 years ago. But you can see how they refine it. So it's not like different. They just take what they clearly, that vibe that they put out in the world, they've just made it and honed it and done better and found it their own way. I like it a lot. This looks like Broken Covenant Misfortune. I don't know who that is. It reminds me of Ruby Heart. Ruby Heart. Character made, I'm pretty sure she was made originally just for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. She was like an original character. I thought she was dope. Anyway, now that we've perused all of that, give me 1 sec again just to check my phone, like I said. Okay. Oh, yeah. Medical stuff is scary. Anyway, I forgot I said Hood was up for that rant. Hood can come down now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Rant is over, but I probably will reference it later because I am weird. Anyway, trying my best. I'm gonna swap this out for some water and we'll get started. And by swap it out, I mean I keep my water on my side table over here by the door. So I just swap it with my coffee mug. I'm such a cool streamer, right? I'm so prepared. But I don't know what I want to do today. So I have my Sexy Sue Storm, right, on the iPad. But I also I don't know. I feel like I've been honing in too much on hard details of things. I think next week, so not this week, because I do need to finish a couple things. I think next week my goal is to try and just do stuff every stream. So I'm committing too hard to try and do like these. I'm getting lost in details, right? And I feel like we all do that sometimes. And I'm learning as I'm streaming too that like I need to just focus on getting stuff done. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do today even, because I have that Reed Richards and I have that Sue Storm that I wanted to finish. I am working on Sue's YouTube video that I wanted to do, her lore and design breakdown, which is coming along nicely. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but I do know what I'm going to do it on. And that is the new board that came in yesterday. Now, do I love this new board? No. No, I do not. Sketchboard, if you guys are listening, you all dropped the ball. Dropped it hard. I've been a huge fan. I talk about the sketchboard. So, you know what? Tangent number 2, and then we're going to do art. I'm always late. It's fine. It's close enough. What did we say? Sketchboard. Sketchboard Pros, right? The original sketchboard, greatest thing ever. Absolute, the best, like quite literally my favorite tool I've ever used. I absolutely adore it. It's sitting right there. I have been using it for years since it came out, pre-COVID time even, right? Absolutely love it. Like literally right before COVID, I'm pretty sure it was. But anyway, so I loved it. Fantastic board. And they marketed, hey, look, we have dun 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 Sketchboard Pro or Sketchboard Pro 2. 2 implying it's better, smaller, lighter, stronger body, more magnetic legs, better angles, bigger port, a pencil holder for lefties. All these things, they make you think it's gonna be great. Except it's not. Except it's really friggin' not, man. Like, I don't understand why they did the things they did. So I'm looking. Did I put in the wrong iPad? Because I have the 2022 model, right? I'm like double checking. Was it user error? Did I mess up? No, because I have the 10.9 inch iPad Pro. This guy. Not the M2. Not the 11 inch. First, or maybe it was this one? No, it was this one. iPad Pro 11 inch, first gen. That's what I have. That's what I ordered. So my rant on this is this part, awesome idea, right? Different height variations, super cool. However, the place in which you store these legs right here, garbage, doesn't hold it, falls out immediately. Why is it even there? If you've got magnetic legs, put them in a magnetic holder or give me a slider, give me something. My biggest qualm though, among all the other things that I am actually not a fan of, is the lip. Boop. So you see the iPad gets thrown in, right? You just set the iPad in here. The old model, the good model, had a slight lip on the edge. So when you pushed it in, the iPad was in it and it became flush. It felt perfectly flush with the board. And if you pushed on it or pulled, it didn't even really wiggle. You had to give there was like a nice tension seal, right? Almost like when you have like water with something, you have it like in a cup. There's like that little bit that you need to like pop it a little bit, and I loved it. It was just the right amount of tension. Now they said, F that, let's get rid of that lip and it's just a straight hard edge. Why would you do that? There's no tension then. They say it's because it's magnetic. The other one was magnetic. The magnetic thing doesn't hold pressure the other way. It holds it when you rest it just fine. It doesn't hold against adverse pressure, which means if there's a big old hole in the back, and the whole point is I was doing this with a VESA mount, where do you think the pressure is? Pressure's in the back. So the second I move it, boom, knocks the iPad almost out super uncomfortably. Like it is pushing the entire device out of the housing. And that is one of the dumbest designs I've ever seen. If you have something that's working, why are you marketing it saying you're making it better when in reality you're actually taking away some of the better parts of it? Now, all that aside, does the VESA mount work? Yeah, totally does. 100% does. Are there other problems I think that are really stupid with it? Like, why did they change the pencil holders even? The pencil holders are too small. I can't fit a pencil in it, like just the tip barely, and it's about to fall out. And why is the rubber housing too big slightly? So there's like a giant hole in the back where the camera is, or the pencil doesn't line up perfectly. Why? I implore you, Sketchboard, why did you do these things? In the future, how about you guys make a better version and you can send it to me, and I will speak your good graces and renounce all of this hate. Again, like I cannot stress how weird it is that it just falls. It just falls in. There's no pressure. Nothing gets put into it. I don't have a camera set up that you can see it, unfortunately, but it is awkward. I don't understand it. That said, I'm done complaining. It is at least a thing now, so that's better than nothing. So now we at least have the iPad set up on an arm. You can't really see the arm at all on screen, but it is there, and it is ugly. And the arm is here, and it is, I mean, the case is here, and it is also apparently ugly in its own way. But for now, it is going to probably get the job done. We'll see. Today is the first test run of it. The charging port is nice and big. I don't know who designed the first one and thought the charging port that they assigned the size of was good. It was like half the size of a normal USB cable. So how were you supposed to wedge something in there? Case in point, why I shredded mine apart so that I could fit it in. Because normally I never put anything in that spot because it was impossible. But now since I was using the iPad to draw on here, and it needs to be connected to the computer, I need to have it plugged in. Normally I would just take out the thing, charge it, no big deal. But so even here, so I'm sitting here, and it is you can feel it. You can feel a really gross lip on the iPad now. And I'm looking at it, it's sticking out because of the pressure, the way the arm sits. So if you're marketing the thing to be able to use with an arm, maybe you should design it to be used with a damn arm. I cannot stress how dumb it is. Whatever. I did like the Karen email, right? I was like, I'm so angry. I'm texting you. I'm frustrated. Or I'm emailing. I'm angry. But also, I feel like they need to know. Like, I think it's only fair to give criticism to products when they fail you. I've got my mom. So for all of us here in the United States, it's not looking great here, right? If we're being honest, stuff's been not the best. And so as Lithuanians, and who, like my grandma and stuff, they emigrated from Lithuania. Like, it's not like we've been here super long. And so my mom's been looking into dual citizenship stuff. So in case, we need to leave, we can pop out of this bad boy. And by this bad boy, I mean the United States of America. Kind of doo-doo. Man, okay. So we're going to have some growing pains right now because I don't, have a good angle that I know works yet for this arm. Because while the arm is nice, I also then, the board has a decent enough mass, or width to it, that it's hard to get just right without hitting the arm too. So as you guys can imagine, if an arm is like this, boop, and then you have a big rectangle on it, this part of the arm is going to conflict with it. And if it's bopping it, it's not a bad thing that it does. You just need to kind of get used to it and position accordingly then, which is what I am probably going to be doing a lot today. Just fidgeting like a weirdo because it is hard to get it right. And it's different, right? Anything we do that's different always throws all of us off. Like right now, I can't get it angled right. It's just curved, like twisted. Ay, ay, ay. Growing pains, am I right? My sister used to always say, and she still kind of does every once in a while, am I right, ladies? And it was always like me and my mom. I was like, all right, yeah. All right, well, yeah, this is gonna take some getting used to. Oddly enough, it's still balancing on my belly. I can't get away from that. Or trying to. Dirty Honey? Is that what we're listening to today? Think so? About -20. And I'm going to turn it down on my end so we don't hear any. Trying to find the fine balance where I don't have to put on my headphones because I'm lazy. Where I can hear it, but you can't hear it through my microphone. Gonna miss me. I'm gone. Yeah, this is. I'm glad I have this device now, but I'm also, like I said, it's going to take me quite some time to get used to ergonomics of it and my proper posture and form. I might need to move the arm too because maybe it needs to go further to the side of my desk, like further backwards. You know what? I actually realized I'm going to have to unplug this. Don't mind me. The way the cable works, I think I'm going to have to run the cable underneath the arm itself. Because if I put it up top of the arm, it looks like it's going to get caught if I move too much. And I don't want it to rip out or damage the... I'm rocking this old-ass iPad. I can't... quite literally can't afford to get a damaged port on this guy. I wonder if I can tighten a couple of these things. Like, part of this is too loose and part of it is too tight. I don't know. I'm like a freaking Goldilocks up in here, and like nothing's right. And that's okay. We'll figure it out together as you guys watch me struggle like an idiot. My mom, with the dual citizenship, she's like, man, I could get free healthcare in Italy as a citizen, and then it's cheaper for me to fly out to Italy. How broken is that? It's cheaper for my mother to fly to Italy. Keep in mind, she has good dental and healthcare, right? My dad literally works at a hospital, like executive level at a hospital, right? Like running the region. And it's still cheaper for her to be a dual citizen, fly to Italy, get her procedure done in Italy, and then fly back. It will cost her less money. Is that broken? Asking for a friend, you know. Just kidding. It's effing broken. Christ. Anyway, what are we doing today? Because here we've got, we never really tweaked this, but I guess it just looks messy now. But we can quickly Let's clean up this, and then her line work is basically done, right? And by line work, I mean this messy, etchy stuff that I'm calling line work because it's close enough. I didn't really allude to much with the hands other than just that there's these folds. So we got pointer. Middle would technically be longer. Why is this should be smaller? The ring and the pinky. Honestly, people, when you draw hands, the hardest part usually for most people isn't like the hand per se or this like the normal thing of fingers. Usually the connection between the hand, like the palm and the thumb. I feel like that's what I've seen more people get wrong than anything is that, because it's a weird combo there, right? It's like an odd spot that it just kind of, if you can't get the way that connects properly, it's gonna look really dumb. Also, wait a second, I'm an idiot. Her hand, I just said her thumb's over here. So this is pinky. This ain't pointer finger. I'm all thrown off still with this new arm, new me, new phone, who dis? Like, okay, so that's a pinky, so that actually would be pretty small. And then this is the ring finger then. So presumably slightly shorter, but again, we're receding in space, so they almost will look the same size. And then the pointer finger is actually this one. I just kind of want like a casual like curling of the fingers there. Again, not trying to sell like any specific crazy detail of this, just enough to look at that and it has like that feel, right? That's all we go for with all this stuff is just a quick feel. Giggity. This eraser is way too big. I have set right now, but that's fine. Man, this stubby arm still strikes again that we did yesterday, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I need to get used to just doing stuff and being done. I'm taking too damn long with all this. Way too damn long. Hand, done. I don't have Malice actually on in the background, do I? Didn't load up the game. That's okay. We remember what this looks like enough. So if we're breaking the silhouette more, usually I kind of want to pick one side over the other. So let's zoom out and see what looks better. Oh, I already like that. That's fine. Done. Give a little bit of curvature to it. A little bit of movement. And we can call that pretty much done too. All right. A little flat, so it feels kind of inorganic. Let's give it like a little bit of a bounce. Have the fold visible to us just a smidge, so we feel like it's oversized. Even less of a smidge. Just like an illusion of a smidge. It's not an actual smidge even. And then as we establish, her forearm strap thing is weird that it's actually two pieces, if we remember, like, that aren't connected. So how do we want to draw that? We could technically draw both of them with this, because it could be like one's falling down towards us, the viewer, and we can actually then have the other in the background, maybe? Something like that. It didn't have some sort of, I don't remember what it had here. I think it just had more so on the tassely parts. It had a fold, or I mean a grommet, a hole. A little too big. I just kind of want to play with it so it's visible, but that was too much, too visible. Right there, we were running into a tangent, right? So it was lining up too cleanly with the previous fold there. So that line was like two of the same lines, which did not look good. Do we want the curve to go with it or against it? Are you with me? If you're not with me, you're against me. From my perspective, the Jedi are the enemy. Mind me, the Star Wars quoting. All right. A little too heavy-handed with these like folds. Cool. I feel like this, once it's has color, it makes sense. But like right now, this doesn't feel like it. Like it feels too small. Wonder if we just add like a little blemish in it, because it felt like it's not the leather of the glove anymore. It looks like it's just like a hole for the arm, but that'll be fine. That little indent from the butt was kind of distracting. It goes too different. So I soften that up, give a little hint to the hip jutting out, and when in doubt, whip the butt out. That's a patented phrase, you know, just so you know. When in doubt, whip your butt out. I get a royalty every time you say it. Thank you. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire who needs to go to Italy to get my surgeries done because I can't afford them here in the US. What the fuck? Why is my rotate of the canvas? It keeps snapping the wrong way. Not quite sure why it's doing that. Oh my gosh, I have 1,000. So I've been waiting to hear back from a dude on Marketplace, good old Facebook Marketplace, the hellscape of selling things. I wanted another monitor. Or I'm sorry, another camera. So I'm thinking maybe if I swap, I have a camera down here, like where I'm pointing this way, off the right side of my screen, and then one on the left. Because like in this instance, I would like to be drawing and looking at you guys here. I can just look up and see, and I can look to the side and see chat. But we'll see. He had it for cheap, and I was going to trade him some toys or statues or whatever I had, but he's like, I'll get back to you, man. And he's a guy who sells stuff normally. He's like, yeah, man, Facebook Marketplace sucks. Running into some weirdos, blah, 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 blah. And he ghosts me. What a dick. I don't even know what we're looking at. We've got so many weird slight variations. All right, I say we're done. We're done with the line work. That means I take everything else and I group it and I just say archive. In case I want to go back and look at some old piece of it for some reason, I like doing that. Archive. Now the beauty. Let's actually watch this real quick, and because I always kind of enjoy seeing. We'll watch it live together. The time-lapse replay. So let's see. Let's watch me figure this shape out. So it's kind of long, so maybe we should probably zoom past this. So I guess we didn't see this on stream at all. I did the shape and the base body before I even hopped on stream. So you can see me kind of hammering out. Could not figure out what I wanted to do with that arm. It was bothering me. You can see I tried to fold it, and then I realized like it just needs to be draping down just very casually. I think here is when I actually add detail to the face real quick soon, which I like because it changes pretty quickly once you get like a face in. Suddenly you can believe the space. And you can see here the struggle I had with the breasts too for a while. I couldn't get the shape just right. Okay, here we go. Now we get a face in. Another struggle. Me trying to figure out how her face would look. I think I changed the angle. Do a lot of stuff. Zoom in and actually just see this stuff happening then. Wow, look at me go. Look at me go. I think this was all off stream. Yeah, I think I did the face off stream. And then here, yeah, was getting some assistance sooner than later from a girlfriend because the breast kept looking weird. And she pointed out why. So here's me drawing with her. And then, boop, fixed. We're cruising through now because this is not as exciting. Struggle with these damn straps and arms. And then just the other day, if you remember, just plowed through. Got the details on the legs, and we are done. Cool beans. Good job, team. Maybe we do pull Malice up and we get some colors in then. We just play with some colors. Maybe I won't even like fully color it. It'll be sketch with some colors underneath, and we'll just call it there. So let me just double check. I'll pull up the game. Let me mute the game though, right? Get set to browser audio. Right? Hopefully you don't. If you guys hear it, that would be annoying. Sorry. So I turned off. I've got Discord, browser audio, music, and mic. So I've got quite a few audio channels going on with this scene. Oh, I don't want to hear the game either, though. Right? Mute. Don't mind me, still just trying to find the sweet spot for this arm. Look at me. I did things in the game. How close am I actually now that I'm looking at this? Do I get... I just want Namor. Namor. Okay, I'm pretty close to getting 216 more chromium. Almost there. Almost there. So close. I got good old Magneto. He, I think, might be what my second video will be on, actually, because I love House of M. This is a great story, and this is a great costume. It's a relatively modern comic, too. I was 15 when this one came out. So not too old. Whereas like the Malice skin is quite old. I'm pulling reference from the 60s, my comics I'm pulling from. So also I just realized I turned off the display. This is what I was talking about. She back here. Okay. So as she's doing her thing, she's grooving. And we're still grooving, figuring out this damn desk. Ugh. Okay. And then I'm bumping the mouse. I'm bumping my mic. Golly. It's weird because I can't, for some reason, it's like 5 degrees. 5 degrees counterclockwise rotated. And I don't know why. Like, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a Allen wrench. This is going to bug me. Let me slap a... E-R-B. Be right back. Bye. Like lightning, right? You guys are like, wow, I blinked. I blinked, and he's back. This man is fast. Now to quickly figure out which size of Allen key I need. Okay, this I hate. I feel like I've got like 18 different things at my desk, right? 15, 20 things, all the things. And everything uses a different size Allen key. That's not. The other one's friggin' porridge again, man. This one's too big, and this one's too small. Don't understand how that works. Well, this is not working. Not working as planned. Again, it doesn't help that this Ergotron arm is like legit 15 years old. Seen some shit, you know what I mean? So I think actually the part that's loose that keeps wobbling like crazy is a part that I can't even tighten myself. Like it's not a piece of... There's no bolt here. Hold on. Yeah, the piece I think I need to tighten is not one that can be tightened. Like what's actually causing it to move too much. Darn it. Well, that was a waste. All right, whatever. I give up. Too much time. We're done. We're done looking at these stupid arm, stupid thing. So I'll scoop it up in here. Okay, put these Allen keys all away because I had quite a few of them out. I'm going to throw them on the floor and I'll put them away downstairs later. And we'll get back to struggling to find posture. Struggling. Every day I'm struggling. Goodbye, BRB. Okay, so what do we got? She is basically a dark maroon. It's black, but I want to give it like that black, but a little bit of purple, right? So if we look, let's play with the color. So black with like a hint, just a hint of purple. Let's see how something like this looks. No, it needs to be even darker, I think. That's not black enough. There we go. I think that's the money. It's still purple, but it's also still black. Boop. Just a smidge. There we go. That is, I think, what we're looking for. So let's change. I always forget. I'm the worst. I just sit here and usually like swipe around until I find the layer property that I like. And it's none of these for some reason. Why am I blanking? I don't know. We'll set it to normal for now. I think it's just because this purple is so dark that it looks ugly. But let's blop down some color at least just to see what she looks like with some. So this detail is still just black. So I had been playing with watercolor a lot before, but I also don't feel like doing that right now. But maybe I'll block this in and see if I don't like it. Then I'll go to watercolor maybe. And this is like a light gray, all of her spiky bits and stuff, right? Her straps. I feel like maybe watercolor would be better here just because this is so dark looking. It's getting like, we're losing pretty quickly what we're looking at, I feel like. But that's, I kind of want to just go quick with this, with color, and be more loose. Her toes, she's got like a little bit on the part here, right? And then it goes to skin. There's like the divider. And then behind the, oh my gosh, it's a huge brush, goes behind the knuckles of the toes. Which kind of works. It looks like a shadow then on our part. And that kind of curves around the toe. Or just the big toe. Then her torso is also this color. Torso and shoulder. And the arm. Okay. I didn't give like any of this detail in her arm that I probably should have. Are these two arms different? Her left and right? No, but there is a gap. of color here that I did not address. Let me quickly put that in. It's just a black line. Turn this off so I can see. So it looks like it cuts something like that. Again, we're just kind of going to allude to the fact that there's some sort of variation here, actually, because I don't feel like doing that. It gets too much detail. So actually, that'll be exposed arm, let's say. That's exposed arm, and this will be the brush, the purple. Bye. So I'm hunching still with this darn arm, which the whole point was to not hunch over with my collarbone and my neck. So this is not solving the problem I was hoping it was going to solve, which is annoying. Hopefully I'll get a better posture and figure it out. Takes time. So she's like, it's interesting because we're clearly seeing that she is not nude, right? In terms of her legs. They're giving us a little bit of color. So it's supposed to be like she has sheer tights on because it's noticeably different skin complexion to her arms. And if we notice, her arms have like hard lines, whereas the legs and torso and belly exposed don't have that same type of lighting. So it is definitely a shiny material on her legs. So we'll definitely need to make note of that and not just make it skin tone. Similar to skin tone, but not exactly. And actually, it looks like the chest here isn't this purple. It's more of a gray color. Because it's like this is a top that goes over her upper piece, which is not what I thought at first. But so it looks like it might cut like this. It's like, imagine she's got like a spandex suit under this bra. Sports bra-y kind of spot. We'll have to do a more gray color for that. Just desaturate, I think, is all I'll do. Just desaturate it a little bit. Okay, give it a little more gray. Still on the right layer. Looks like the straps are kind of the same color, so we'll just color it all gray, and then we'll change it by shading. Like differentiate them kind of maybe that way. Then her hole between her cleavage is like a red and black. This is not the most exciting or sexy part, just kind of blocking in colors, I know. Which is why I probably should do these off stream. But we didn't today, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. So let's commit and say this whole part then is this gray. So it's like a, like I said, like imagine like a thick tube toppy kind of thing, but also one that goes, it's like a tank top, like a nice little tank top over everything. It's that same gray actually that we see in all the other stuff. Yeah, that gray is used everywhere. So we might want to lighten this gray up in the end, but for now, let's at least just block it in. We can always adjust. I keep my layers separate per color. So because each color is on its own layer, I can easily just do like a hue saturation on that layer, and universally it'll adjust that color then, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But like right here, we'll just, obviously there's red and other colors on these, but we'll put that on over after the fact. I feel like in Photoshop, I like the selection tool a lot better. So in Photoshop, I would actually just go through and select this shape and then fill it with color and go from there. In Procreate though, I just don't like the selection tools. Like if there's one thing, I want selection tools way better, and gradients. Both of those suck. Like absolutely suck in Procreate. They're like, who made them? Or who neglected to make it, really? Like I feel like that should be a core part of it, but we don't have. The gradients are, in my mind, useless in Procreate. Like if you're using the gradients in Procreate, you are needlessly struggling. Like I don't even want to use them. And then the selections just don't feel right. They feel really weird, and it's harder to save selections. You can't do that like you can in Photoshop. But I hate Photoshop. So, I mean, here we are. And Clip Studio Paint is great. I just, the UI on the iPad is very cumbersome. And so when I'm doing stuff like this, where I just want to get stuff done, Procreate looks better. So for you guys looking at it, it just looks better too. Like it reads better. You understand the UI. There's not like needless menus and stuff. And on Photoshop, that's fine because I feel like the screen proportions are different. But here on the iPad, it just gets ugly. The whatever like system they have for making a line, like the way you draw, the way the pencil is read in Clip Studio Paint, I love it. It reads it in such a way that feels more organic. Like when I use my iPad, it still always feels, despite having my board, despite having the paper like screen protector, it still always feels like you're just drawing on glass to an extent. Because even like the feed, like the way the mark is made, I don't know how to explain it. It's super weird, but there's definitely a different feeling of making a mark with other software. And Clip Studio Paint is one of those that has a nicer like tip feel, which that sounds weird. It's a good tip feel, you know, but it is actually what it is. The tip feels different. I didn't realize this technically is a different gray too. She's got some weird details all over her. My goodness. This is the same color as her face straps as well. So this is going to get real busy real quick. We're going to need to do the skin tone next, I think, just so it doesn't look like it's just getting washed out, this whole thing. Here, you know, why am I doing this? We're just going to paint the whole head, and then everything else is going to be painted on top anyway. So don't bother with trying to block out the hair. Okay, so let's put the this skin tone under. She's pretty pale, right? She is pretty pale. That. kind of as pale as you go, right? That's more of the tight color, I think. So if we have this for the tights and this for the skin, right? Yeah, I like that. Okay, so these are tights. And like I said, since these are definitely tights, we can give it different kind of specular shine to make it feel like it's a different material from the exposed skin. I don't see any other tight, right? Like it just goes down from the groin to the mid thigh. And now let's pop a layer for the actual skin. Oh my gosh, my snapping's been all over the place. So a little armpit exposed just for, you know, I'm sure that is that way just because, you know what? She gets sweaty, right? And you need to have your exposed armpits because if it's closed off with all this armor, ugh, you're going to get sweaty, right? Is her neck? Okay, it's pretty much exposed. Her neck of flesh color, then we can give it. So it looks like we could get away with her hair and her spikes. Nope, I lied. They're very different. So now we've got like this deep maroon I want to put in. But not before. Okay, so we talked about the hue. Let's just like brighten this a smidge. No. The red is pretty much the same red everywhere. Like pretty deep. Kind of like that. Maybe a little more purple. Just a slight bit of purple. Oh yeah. Much better. I like that. So when you're picking colors, you got to keep in mind all the other colors on the scene. So yes, I wanted a deep red, like a deep maroon. But when you're color picking, also remember the other colors in the image. So if we want to just give it a more cohesive feeling between the whole picture, lean in a little bit to what you got. So obviously this red, I didn't make it pure red. I gave it a little hint of purple. And then what I'll do is I'll give her chest piece, that'll be pure red. So the red pops. Because again, if everything is big, nothing is big. And that goes with color too. If it's all the same color, or at least kind of, you know, the same vibe, it won't stand out. But if we make all the accessories a reddish with a red with a hint of purple, then when we purely make it a pretty much solid purple, I mean solid red for the other piece, that gives it a little more oomph. It helps everything stand out. Crap. This needs to be above, doesn't it? These layers, because I said I was going to color it that way. Darn. Bad call, Britton. Why did you say that? Looks like inside of her hand, there's like a hint of red. Is that what I'm seeing? Again, a circle. Interesting. And then there's also red under the shoulder pads, kind of. So like in the shadowed part that we wouldn't really see too much, but technically we do on this one. So we can throw that in. And then her eyes are pretty much that color too. But is that all the red? Scarf under, wrist, nothing on the feet. And then now let's give that one inner red, like I said, like a good old pop. So let's add, so let's get back to just pure red. Saturate it, brighten it a little bit, and then we'll do red. A little better. And so that material is shinier as well. So we can adjust that later by giving it a nice shine. But so this is definitely red with black accent. So we can do that and then blop in some dark color here. And I'm not gonna like pretend to make the pattern right now because I don't really want to. I think I might just leave it nebulous and then just keep this center shape maybe of like a 4-leaf clover thing. Or maybe I'll go back later and detail just so it looks cooler because this is looking stupid. Yeah, I'll go back and detail that later because that looks hella dumb. Why do later? Okay. You're right, current Britain. Let's kind of make this small. Give it a little bit of detail. Doesn't have to be 100%. What do we got then? Let's pretend there's like a... This actually would be a perfect thing to do in like a symmetry tool and then just warp it onto this, you know, perspective. But that would make too much sense, wouldn't it? Who does that? Not I, says Britain. Okay, making up this pattern at this point. Look kind of stupid. Not surprised because I wasn't really paying all that much attention to this. But I'm just pulling stuff out of my butt. Now let's tweak this a little bit. I feel like it's not distorted properly. Not that it really makes sense even what this random pattern is. I just half-assed. But to sell it a little bit better, I feel like we can do that. Probably would be a good spot to liquefy to, as we all know I love to do. But not right now for some reason. I don't think. Sometimes when it's a tight little space like this, it's harder to liquefy efficiently. So there, that looks like a pattern, right? And let's give like a little bit of line detail just so it feels filled in. Connect this now. Cool. Kind of a pattern, right? If we rotate it. Boop. Beautiful. Boob pattern is what we always strive for. What else do we got? Spikes. Oh, I never painted that shoulder pad. It was this color, right? I was blocking in. And then looks like all of the silver bits. Let's do the same color, like the same silver. I always like my silvers. Not my, but like silvers, I feel like always should have like a hint of blue. Just a very slight hint of blue. That's just how metal works. It looks better. People sometimes will just do like, so look at this color versus this color. Like, yeah, that's silver. But isn't it like lacks life, right? It just feels boring. So there's a middle ground to be had for sure. So let's do that. But I like to give a little bit, like if you don't give a little bit of color to silvers, I find them absolutely boring because then you can desaturate the highlights because you're already going to have like a white or something in there as a highlight. And so you naturally are giving it a little bit more oomph by giving it just that a little hint of blue. Doesn't need to be a lot. When you're color picking, obviously be aware of purely one color or purely a saturated thing and stuff. Like it's a fine line. Like there's nothing distinct in life in color, I feel like. So when you pick colors digitally, it's really easy to make it look awkward because that's not how color exists. Usually. So I need to color her toes. Her toes are exposed though, which makes sense. I guess tights don't really cover the toes. Spiky, spiky. There's no red on any of these, huh? So not getting this posture down. I don't know if I change like the arm height maybe on my chair too when I'm doing this. Oh, that helps. I've had my arms low because it just fits under the desk. So when I'm gaming, my arms are more put on the desk rather than anywhere else. But like right now, I'm not focused on the desk. So having it, the arms as low as the desk seems stupid. So I just boosted the arms up on my chair. And that immediately helped my posture. Cool. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. That was silly. Her toenails black. Yeah. Black. Silver. What else do we got? The spikes on the shoulders. Is that it? Looks like it. Wow, I pulled my hood down and I had this little tuft of hair sticking up like an idiot that whole time. Whoops. So sketchy. I'm actually with the spikes as I'm trying to color the black colors in here. The way the spikes are drawn at first, my brain was like, wait, is that a spike or is that just like a squiggle that I made in the hair? All the spikes on her head. There's a fun thing I'll note in my breakdown that I realized too is that her spikes are all over the place, right? Front and back. Like there's not like a set spot that they exist in a line. But in the cartoon when it was simplified, I mean in the comic when it was simplified, it looked like a crown kind of like the old crowns like with like the Catholic drawings or the halos like that. And when she does her emote in game, it actually makes that pattern. And I think that's super cool. That is the slightest nod you can do, but it works to be like, hey, that's that energy still, you know? I think that was, again, little decision things that they've made in the core. Oh, excuse me, sorry. That was building up for a while. I could feel it. They just look so good. And it shows such an attention to detail and love of the source material, which as a huge nerd and fan of the source material and the game, that's a net win for me. Because then I get to talk about it. And man, am I excited to finally talk about it and get these videos rolling. Her skin. Let's color these toes in real quick. I forgot how non-detailed I made these toes. Like you can't really even see what's going on. I made them pretty messy. I was just sketching them in loosely, but that tells the story enough. Now, do we want to do black or just the same purple? Let's just do the same purple. Don't reinvent the wheel if we don't have to, right? Kind of make those the same. If colors are close enough, like this, adding more colors is messier. So don't do it. If you don't need, if it is like a shade off, like just a hair, don't confuse the viewer, don't muddy the image. If you can simplify your color palette and make it just as effective, it goes a long way. Especially when you're working, obviously if you're working in like hyper realism or something, sure. I'm not talking about that though. That's not what I do. That's not my bag, baby, as Austin Powers would say. I'm a weird 90s kid and I, in my personal life, quote Austin Powers more than I should. My girlfriend probably hates it. Unless it makes her Randy, baby. But yeah, no, I'm an idiot. I grew up because my dad found those hilarious. And so my dad and I bonded and would watch those movies together. he actually had a sound board, like a little machine that you'd push the buttons and it would play different audio clips from the movie. From I think actually that one was the third movie, though I think it was the Gold Member. But yeah, as a kid I had way too much fun playing with that. And the big old fat bastard, his get in my belly. Okay. The hair is like the hair we can take and get rid of the blue then. So let's make the hair actual silver. So get rid of all the blue in that and brighten it. And we'll make it that way then. To make it feel different from the spikes. And we'll see how that looks. We'll zoom out in a sec. I'll block this in and do a quick zoom out and see the vibes in a sec. When I should be able to actually do a color fill. Do a quick outline here. I need to get better at coloring too, because I feel like this process is really slow. But I also, like I said, I just don't like the process on Procreate as opposed to other applications. I don't mind, like, once I'm already doing the thing, but like blocking stuff in and everything without having the selection tools I like using feels very slow. I'm deciding on the fly what the hair actually is because I just got scribbles out the butt over here that I'm kind of interpreting. And if you remember, we did give her a little bit of hair visible on her other side that it's kind of flowing down just to frame that space a little. All right, that looks not bad. Let me tighten up a couple things super quick that are just blaringly off for now, and then we'll go in and figure out what we want to do next. I'm doing it this way. I'm not quite sure how I want to. I like doing broad strokes, shadows, but it's a little harder with everything broken up. And again, because Procreate sucks with how you can do like overlays and layer masks and stuff. The fact that you can't do a clipping mask. I'm sorry. So like I would like to do a clipping mask on top of this. That's 10 times easier. You just do a clipping mask on a folder. That's normal, right? That's normal web like design stuff. But why in Procreate they say F you? You cannot create a clipping mask. Can't do it. No clipping mask on folders. You have to combine the shape. So like this whole layer of color I would need to combine to one piece before I could apply shadows, which isn't the worst because I think those colors actually work pretty well. If anything, maybe let's give a little bit more of a, where's the tights? Let's give like a slight reddish tint. So let's saturate a little. Like that. And then when we do shadows, it might look better. I want to do hard lines. I don't think I want to do soft. But like, so if we take this and we make it like a much more saturated red to be in shadow, I think that'll sell pretty well, the look. Where do we want the light coming from? Probably from here, right? Shining on the butt. And then because if we go from here, she's going to be underlit, and that, I don't know if that's the vibe I want. Underlit always seems weird to me. So what's the move? Do we color per piece then? Or do we just do a broad stroke? Because you can do... Usually just slap it darker color then. So these are on top, and you can still see the line work. Ish. I mean, multiplies the go-to one. I'm trying to make it look a little different, but yeah. Yeah, the problem with this is it's just going to look really gray. And I don't like that. But let's just do this as a quick training exercise, kind of to figure out like where the shadows are going to be anyway. So shouldn't be using the watercolor brush. So be kind of under the breasts. This, give a little bit of detail. Shadow on the shoulders. And do a nice rim light too. Do a lot of shadow for this leg, and then do a very maybe rim light the whole thing on the left. Shadow the hell out of this part. Maybe not completely down here though. I mean, that doesn't make sense, but you can't even see the shadow on this purple. This purple is so dark. We'll have to lighten up that purple. I think that's what we're learning here. It's a little too dark, unable to see if you can't see variation, then that's way too dark. Drawing shadows of skin, like when you're just blocking like this, that looks hideous. Shadows are obviously more reds and more natural colors on skin. I forgot she's got those glowing eyes too, right? So we'll need to... Oh, and I forgot to do that hair. And this whole thing would be in shadow. Man, I'm not talking much, I know. Like I said, I'm in a weird headspace today. And then coloring this was just kind of... Again, I'm trying to get used to just streaming every day and doing my thing. So this is definitely still a growing process for me to get better at kind of handling my own mental struggles that I'm having in my own personal life too. And trying to like find the pieces that work for me given that context. So like if I know I'm going to be kind of off, I should maybe be trying to do something more silly and fun, maybe to counterbalance it, instead of what I'm doing here, which is like I don't like coloring all that much, honestly. Like it's efficient, it looks cool, you get a lot more oomph to a piece when you start coloring it. But I'm also like, I like the sketching is the fun part for me. Everything else is just like you have to. Like I need to learn a way to color and sketch in such a way that I don't have to deal with much, if that makes sense. Because I don't like doing this. This part's kind of boring for me. It's not that it's a hard thing, right? Like, I don't know, I feel like I got a pretty good grasp on light. Like I know what I'm doing with this, but I also just It does go a long way though. Like I'm not that the fact of the matter is not lost on me that good lighting does make a big difference. And all of a sudden like it transforms the piece pretty quickly. The look more complete in a good way. Yeah, I totally forgot about that other tuft of hair that I'll have to address in a second. I mean that's the shape that I was kind of going for, right? Like you accentuate the butt more somehow. Give like a really soft shading here maybe at one point. But for now that looks stupid, but yeah, it will definitely benefit to accentuate the rumpus. Like I know this is skin tight, so it really doesn't cast too much of a shadow, but it does still. Like you can't ignore the fact that it's going to cast some sort of shadow on the body. Like this is still ambient occlusion, so her hand is still resting on that space, so it's not like it's without shadow. I'm just looking messy now. Oh well. Get back to the hair. What if we... Again, I wish you could do gradients more easily here. Because like right here, what I like to do with a character, like you do that with 3D stuff, is you actually make a gradient, right? So your gradient goes from dark to light when you're working with characters. Because usually depending, you know, you don't want the feet to be the focal. But like unable to make a nice gradient quickly and easily kind of sucks. But sometimes you can just play with the gradient and it goes a long way of just like quickly helping convey color without even like adding too much. So like, is there a way to blur this then? So what if we just do make our own and just blur the hell out of this? Put something like that. And then we just, but you see what I'm saying? Like that little bit of a gradient goes from a flat image, right? This is really flat, to just a slight gradient to where the feet are a little darker and the upper body where we're looking is just a hair lighter. Like night and day difference gradients can make. So not being able to have them easily sucks. Or like even here, like really pump it up. I just like a normal usually, but always play with it to see what kind of layer style looks best. Multiply would be focusing more on the dark. Whereas like I said, normal kind of just does it for me. Like it doesn't need to be a lot. Like that looks stupid. But that middle ground of like just adding like a little 13, 14% gradient really can sell where your eye's looking. But stupid Procreate doesn't like to do that. I had to do that myself. I'll make my own paper company. Okay, I need to do that hair tuft because it's looking weird now. Oh, and another... Actually, this was just a pure black, right? I didn't give any shading to these little spikes here. Or these up here, apparently. But it's hard, so you have to be sure to turn off like this gradient. I was going to affect what color I'd be color picking if I grab that gray again. So you have to remember always to turn off a lot of that stuff. Otherwise it gets, it'll really screw with your colors overall then. Because all of a sudden every color is going to start looking a little wrong as you're doing stuff. This is the combined one though. Let's get rid of that. I want her lips. Her lips have a deep, so kind of that purple we have, the reddish purple, but deeper. So let's just make it darker and a little more saturated. So like her color, her lips look dead, right? Now there's, obviously this is going from dead to a ton of makeup. But you know what I mean? Like they needed, her character definitely fits having this, so need to show it. At least to an extent. And then her eyes are glowing, right? That's the part that sells more. So her eyes are legit glowing. So let's take a red. They're like the full circle is red, which is kind of weird. The iris itself is just red with like a black dot in it, I guess. So we can color that red for now so it looks like a thing. Coloring the glow after the fact would be easier. And then if we get rid of the lines, essentially, so there we don't even see the lines at all. And then we can paint in. Use this as like a guide. So we can kind of squish this down. Gradient is such a difference. So if we end up like making this one layer, I can shrink it down and put it elsewhere. And then we'll use that as the base, I think. I do like the idea of painting over stuff because it looks better. It looks... Yeah, that looks a lot better when you paint over it. I don't want the comic lines right now. I want to paint it. But that's not for today because it is already 12:37 and I didn't really do too much. I mean, I'll give myself credit. I'll say we did a good amount today. Not as much as I would have thought, but I also didn't really go in with a goal in mind. So what if we, just for the sake of posting something right now, I kind of want to post this and then do like a, what if we just do like a really soft brush like this? So we got a new layer. We do. And we can erase where the brow is. So if we do that and then make it more sharp. Will it feel like a glow then? No, that looks kind of dumb. Change the layer. Yeah, that works, right? That colors. Am I missing something before I move on tomorrow then to actually like refine and paint this thing clean? Looks like the colors are all good. I like the purple. Like I said, I might want to lighten this just because it's really hard to see what's going on. But just slightly. I feel like I'll just lighten it just a little bit. Yeah, just lighten that a little bit, and I think that'll be all we'll do before we start hammering out and doing like fine cleanup of this. Cool beans. All right, yeah, I think we'll call it there. I think that's the move in the moment, and I'm okay with that. But don't mind me trying to. Yeah, this stupid man. This iPad case is dumb. Sketchboard, you listening to me? Fix your crap, please. Well, we got Malice at least color. She looks like she's got more going on now, at least, which is cool. Definitely have a lot more to do. The shadows are dark, which looks stupid. They're not like pretty shadows. They're just black. I don't think there's really any blending mode that'll help that. Soft light kind of does, I guess. Maybe for our purposes now, we can just post that. The soft light, just so it looks like a little more normalized. But okay. Anyway, I'm going to get back, go do some YouTube stuff, go for a walk, eat some lunch, and maybe do a little bit more of this and have an idea of what I'm going to do tomorrow then to finish, finalize and paint her a little more. Maybe, hopefully, by tomorrow, I will have a better posture as well with this damn arm. Growing pains quite literally, but until tomorrow, you know the word, and the word is be kind, kick butt, have a good day, and I'll see you in the morning.